Hello and welcome. She was going through divorce. She had three kids and she sought out Reiki that transformed her. Welcome, Sarah. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And Sarah and I met through the Cincinnati um, uh, support community and where she was leading Reiki, a Reiki weekend. And I I'm grateful for that. So I want to hear your story and we can talk about lots of lots of things people are very interested in.
Okay,
Uh,
great.
Sarah, what brought you to Reiki? What brought you as as going through divorce, mother of three, to having Reiki be in your life?
I have to say it was a really hard time in my life. I was going through or completing a divorce and a really difficult time in all kinds of ways. And I actually had been in therapy for a long time myself, and nothing really was bringing me up and out of it. And a friend said that she had been doing some research and that she wanted to try Reiki. And I'm like, I don't, what's that, And I said, well, what the heck? What have I got to lose? I mean, I felt pretty desperate. And so I said, well, I'll try it too. And I saying I felt pretty desperate is kind of putting it mildly. I really felt like I was scraping along just to exist. I had a great job, loved my job, but everything else was, and I loved my kids, but we were all in this rut and just really having difficult times every day. And it was hard. So when I went for my first Reiki session, um, I felt like I was so open because I felt like this is it. This is, this has to work. And I had a transformation on the table. And it was, I had no idea. Didn't have any idea of what to expect. And transformations are rare. But I felt like if you want, I can tell you a little bit about it.
Absolutely.
In this, I kind of had totally given up and I'm just laying there raw and open. And I had a vision that I was in this dark space, this room with all of the stuff that was familiar but uncomfortable, all of the issues and all of the strains and the things that were holding me down and back. And I was standing in this doorway of rough-hewn wood, I remember, and looking out, and in front of me was nothing but blue sky and clouds. I couldn't see ground or nothing else. And there was an obvious choice, and that was I can either stay where it's familiar and dark and unpleasant and trudge along, or I can take a leap of faith and just go forward, jump out. And I I remember in that vision, I was like, there's no choice. I mean, that obviously I'm going to leap. And I totally felt different when I came off the table at the end of the session. And it just completely, it made me realize that I have choice. And I know you've heard that a million times and everybody says that, but there's true choice that we have and we can carry through with it. And at that point, I was like, okay, I need to learn Reiki because if it made this big of a difference in me, I need to be able to help other people. And So, and I kept on working with my teacher, my Reiki master as well. But yeah, it's just something, it's more than just I want to share this. It's like I have to share this. This was
Mm,
so big in my life
yeah,
that yeah.
it was a
So,
calling.
yes,
Um,
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
and then what you saw was so, meaningful. What, it was like right there, made it clear to you, you know, and all you had to do was follow it. And you
Right.
said that Reiki doesn't, the transformations are rare, but I would argue that there's different kinds of transformations that do happen for people, that may not have been in the difficult circumstance that you were in, but like for instance, I've had transformation with Reiki from you,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and I would say that uh, that it stays with me. It seems like that there were times when your work, you are the vehicle that puts that allows my body to shift. One time I came to your house and I had allergies that were unbelievable. I just kept sneezing. I was blowing my nose. I thought when I got to the door, I thought I should really go home. I'm a mess. And you put me on the table. I was I was perfect after that.
Oh,
No allergy. It was
yeah.
wonderful. That's just
That's great.
one.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And back then, I have an office now, but back then I was doing it from my home and I had a cat. And
Yes.
you're allergic to cats too.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you never had a problem
No, not with your
with
cat
that.
ever.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
My
that's awesome. And that's a really good point. So, the what happens on the table is always what is ready to heal, what is coming
yes.
up.
Yes.
You come to a session wanting, saying, I've got these issues and I really want to work on them. And so, whatever bubbles up, whatever is supposed to come up first, is going to come up and out. And we never know exactly what that's going to be. So just to be open and allow, because we're not just this physical person coming with these issues. We're
Mm,
physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and it's all intertwined. And so things have to unravel. Sometimes it's an instantaneous, kind type of healing, and other times it's a gradual, gentle, different things have to happen before you feel the whole shift. And
yeah.
we say healing, but I think that you're much more accurate in describing it as shift. I think that we go through a lot of shifts as we release toxic energies and chemicals and all kinds of stuff from our body, mind, spirit, and come into a happier, more peaceful, gentler space,
Mhm.
where we can connect with ourselves, our true selves.
Yes. And any shift is big. It makes a difference to our
Oh,
life.
it does. It
Yeah.
does. And
Yeah.
it not only makes a difference to you, but
Mm,
it also how you project and how you interact with others.
yes.
Other people start shifting, even having not come for Reiki, but just experiencing the difference in you without knowing. It's not they're not going to put two and two together, and neither is the person really. But
Right.
eventually you'll go, wow, things have really changed here, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you might not realize it came from having that Reiki session, but you can bet it did.
Right. Yeah, it just works on so many levels. But I also would say there's never just one thing that makes anything happen because we're living life. And
Right.
so somebody could say, oh, my shoulder was better after Reiki, but maybe they had been going to the gym too, or, maybe they didn't do something that aggravated it and it had more time to heal. There's all kinds of
Mm.
things. So we live complex lives. Reiki definitely gets things stirred up, gets them brought up. They can heal then or eventually heal. It's all at the right time. But yeah, it's
But
a
you
com-
wouldn't say that Reiki brings things up that make, they be worse before they get better. You wouldn't say that, would you?
um at times
Oh,
they
really?
they
Oh,
yeah, at times because I've had clients where they are coming for some severe pain, and sometimes the pain gets worse on the table and then goes back to it being a lot better afterwards. And I think
yeah.
the reason is now I'm guessing at this, I can't say for sure, but the energy is helping something to move back in place that's been stuck
Mm.
or move out of a stuck. And that can be painful, the movement so
But
yeah.
I would say it's short suffering instead of long suffering.
Right, right,
Yes, short
right.
suffering.
Well,
Uh,
you've got to think stuff that comes up and out. I mean, sometimes you can have issues with like almost flu-like symptoms, but they go away quickly. And
mm,
that's something that was very toxic for your body that came up and out. And you
oh,
would much rather that to
right.
go through that
Yes,
short time and have it out than to have that raising havoc inside. So,
true. Good
yeah,
point.
yeah.
And before we go, can you tell us, um, what you do in Reiki, like what it is, and if somebody came to you, what do your clients expect, or what can a client expect?
Okay, so I just really short want to say Reiki is a system of natural healing through energy, and it works on everything and everybody. It's gentle and yet it's very effective. Um, and so what people can expect if they come, obviously they're coming because they're having difficulty in life, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, doesn't matter. And so they probably share just tidbits of that. And that kind of opens it's saying to themselves, I'm here to help myself heal, and that they are open and they get on the table with no shoes and no glasses and no hats. That's the wrist stays very comfortable. And I do a guided meditation to help them get into a
Mm,
space
mm,
to be open and relaxed and just offer the energy, around the body, either lightly touching only where appropriate or hovering above. And they can expect to have a tremendous amount of peace and calm, a clarity, a just a wonderful, happy, peaceful space that they come out of. And they may realize all sessions are different. So they may realize things during the session and they may just realize that peace, but it stays with them and it helps them as stuff gets brought up and out because while they're on the table, they're going to be releasing things and it's going to continue. So, but it's going to help them in their day, in the space that they're
mm,
in, and whatever they've come to heal. It makes a big difference. And maybe it's so big of a thing that they need to heal that it takes a few times, or it could happen right then and there. But usually, we didn't get this messed up. We're all messed up, right? Me too, obviously. And we didn't get this messed up in one day. We've
right.
spent a lifetime.
Yeah.
So there's a lifetime of stuff that needs to come
Mm,
out, but it doesn't need to take forever. But yeah, it takes a little bit. We can't
yeah.
expect
Yes,
something.
and I can share as a um, fortunate client of yours that your hands are so warm. It's just incredible, and that you take such good care of your clients that you just feel like you're in this sacred space.
Mm.
It's a glorious feeling, that in itself. And then when you speak, to talk to anytime you've talked in the client healing mode, it's amazing. I don't, it's coming through you just beautifully. And it always is meaningful and peaceful. It's fabulous. So I really appreciate you.
Oh,
And I thank you for being here today. And
I really appreciate it.
is there any thing you want to say before we go? Any any
Um,
tidbit?
I would say that I am very open to talking to anybody who would want to come, to give me a call or text me, and we can and make a time where I'll do a free consultation and answer any questions. And my phone number is 859-322-6985, and I'm under Reiki in Light, IN Light. So, but anyway, I would be happy to talk to anybody who has questions.
And we'll put your information underneath the video
Oh,
when
okay,
you
great.
when I post, when you post yours. Thank you so much, Sarah, for being here. I know that'll make a difference to people to know about your gifts and your offering. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary Fran. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
All right. So bye for now.
Bye-bye.